This is Jacqueline Price, aka Rich Sister, and I welcome you to another edition of Thoughts for Vision. So glad to be with you today, celebrating 10 years of Thoughts for Vision. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast today. Still wishing you all a wonderful and blessed new year. Hope things are starting off well in your life. I know we had some crazy events, to say the least, go on this week, but to God be the glory. In your life, to God be the glory. Sorry, I just kept checking my sound to make sure it's great, and it's great. So thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast today. Like I said, despite the week that you've had, especially with these chain of events, I mean, sometimes in life, you see, sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, but God promises to use everything to work out for your good, according to Romans 8:28. Not that everything is good, but God promises to work things out for your good. So just remember that things will work out for your good. Not that everything is good, it will work out for your good. Okay? So I welcome you to tune into the broadcast today. You can watch the broadcast from two places, and let me get to resharing it again for my profile page. We do that because sometimes the way it works, I be on my profile page, I have to like reshare it again. So I'm doing that right now for the profile page. Okay. All right. So let me see if it's okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. So you can watch today's broadcast from two pages. Of course, the Thoughts for Vision page, facebook.com/Thoughts for Vision, or my profile page, facebook.com/Rich Sister. Once again, two pages to watch the show, facebook.com/Thoughts for Vision, Thoughts for Vision page, or facebook.com/Rich Sister, which is my profile page. So just tune into the broadcast from either one of those two pages, and definitely welcoming you all who are watching this in the replay. You may be watching this on the replay either via Facebook or YouTube. Okay, I got to include YouTube because I download these shows and put them to YouTube. So, but however means that you are watching, or maybe you may be watching this because I put it from the YouTube page and put it on my blog. Whichever means you are watching this through Facebook, through YouTube, through Thoughts for Vision blog, whatever means you are watching this broadcast, whether it's you are on with me live right now or via the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in today, okay? And I'm going to get right into it. Today's topic, the season of Gideon. Today's topic, the season of Gideon. And some of you may be familiar with the story of Gideon. God called Gideon to deliver Israel from the Midianites. Okay, and God calls Gideon to there's reflected in Judges 7, and I'm gonna read the whole of Judges, coming from the book of Judges, chapter 7. Okay, and this particular chapter talks about when Gideon is selecting his army to fight the Midianites. Okay, and he has a certain amount of men, and then he ends up getting cut down to a certain amount. Okay, and I'm going to read. I'm gonna go ahead and just let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and take this. Let's see. Sorry, I got my trying to figure out where I want to read this from. You know what? I'm gonna have to kind of move my my light so I can see, because I want to read it from the computer. So like I said, I'm going to be reading from the book of Judges, chapter 7. I'm going to read the whole chapter because this focuses on, like I said, it focuses on Gideon selecting his army to fight the Midianites. Okay. And he finds out that he has to cut his army down, you know, because he started off with a certain amount of men, but God led him to cut his army down. Because sometimes we can rely on in life, we rely too much on ourselves instead of really trusting God. That's the whole point of this particular chapter, you know. And that's what he found with Gideon. He was relying too much in his own strength and not really trusting God. So God had to cut him down some ends. Some menses. He had to cut him down because he found Gideon relying too much on his own strength and not trusting God. So I'm going to read the whole of Judges 7, the whole chapter of Judges 7. Okay, and I'm going to be coming from the New Living Translation. Okay, I'm going to be coming from the New Living Translation. Judges chapter 7, the whole chapter. Okay. So Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and his army got up early and went as far as the spring of Harod. The armies of Midian were camped north of them in the valley near the hill of Moreh. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many warriors with you. If I let all of you fight the Midianites, the Israelites will boast to me that they saved themselves by their own strength. Therefore, tell the people, quote, whoever is timid or afraid may leave this mountain and go home." So 22,000 of them went home, leaving only 10,000 who were willing to fight. So he started off with 32,000 men, 22 of them went home because they were afraid. So he's left with 10,000. But the Lord told Gideon, there are still too many. Bring them down to the spring, and I will test them to determine who will go with you and who will not. When Gideon took his warriors down to the water, the Lord told him, divide the men into two groups. In one group, put all those who cup water in their hands and lap it up with their tongues like dogs. In the other group, put all those who kneel down and drink with their mouths in the stream. Only 300 of the men drank from their hands. All the others got down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. The Lord told Gideon, with these 300 men, I will rescue you and give you victory over the Midianites. Send all the others home. So Gideon collected the provisions and ram's horns of the other warriors and sent them home. But he kept the 300 men with him. The Midianite camp was in the valley just below Gideon. Okay. That night the Lord said, get up, go down into the Midianite camp, for I have given you victory over them. But if you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah. Listen to what the Midianites are saying, and you will be greatly encouraged. Then you will be eager to attack. So Gideon took Purah and went down to the edge of the enemy camp. The armies of Midian, Amalek, and the people of the east had settled in the valley like a swarm of locusts. Their camels were like grains of sand on the seashore, too many to count. Gideon crept up just as a man was telling his companion about a dream. The man said, I had this dream, and in my dream, a loaf of barley bread came tumbling down into the Midianite camp. It hit a tent, turned over, and knocked it flat. His companion answered, your dream can mean only one thing. God has given Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite, victory over Midian and all its allies. When Gideon heard the dream and its interpretation, he bowed and worshiped before the Lord. Then he returned to the Israelite camp and shouted, get up, for the Lord has given you victory over the Midianite hordes. He divided the 300 men into 3 groups and gave each man a ram's horn and a clay jar with a torch in it. Then he said to them, keep your eyes on me. When I come to the edge of the camp, do just as I do. As soon as I and those with me blow the ram's horns, blow your horns too, all around the entire camp, and shout, for the Lord and for Gideon. It was just after midnight, after the changing of the guard, when Gideon and the 100 men with him reached the edge of the Midianite camp. Suddenly they blew the ram's horns and broke their clay jars. Then all 3 groups blew their horns and broke their jars. They held the blazing torches in their left hands and the horns in their right hands, and they all shouted, a sword for the Lord and for Gideon. Each man stood at his position around the camp and watched as all of the Midianites rushed around in a panic, shouting as they ran to escape. When the 300 Israelites blew their ram's horns, the Lord caused the warriors in the camp to fight against each other with their swords. Those who were not killed fled to places as far away as Bethshita near Zerah and to the border of Abel Meholah near Tabith. Then Gideon sent the warriors of Naphtali, Asher, and Manasseh, who joined in chasing the army of Midian. Gideon also sent messengers throughout the hill country of Ephraim, saying, "Come down to attack the Midianites. Cut them off at the shallow crossings of the Jordan River at Beth-barah." So all the men of Ephraim did as they were told. They captured Oreb and Zeb. Let me talk again. They captured Oreb and Zeb, the two Midianite commanders, killing Oreb at the rock of Oreb and Zeb at the winepress of Zeb, as they continued to chase the Midianites. Afterwards, the Israelites brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon, who was by the Jordan River. That was a full chapter of Judges, which was 25 verses, okay? The whole of Judges 7. So think about that as you think about my topic for today, and I'm putting it up again. The season of Gideon. We are hereby again in the season of Gideon. Like I said, nothing is new under the sun. Figure with everything that's happening with this pandemic, this civil unrest, with this racial divide. I mean, the season of Gideon is upon us again. Like I said, nothing new under the sun. Nothing. Nothing's new here. We are in the season of Gideon once again. Do you find yourself having to subtract some things in your life? Someone who I keep up with is a motivational speaker, Trent Shelton. He once said in one of his videos, the best way to add to your life is to subtract. Sometimes in life, God brings you to a place where you have to subtract to be better. See, we immediately want to think, oh, well, adding stuff to my life, no. Sometimes in life, God needs to subtract, you know. And with everything that's gone on in this season, it puts never mind the world, but the Bible says judgment starts amongst the church. And like I already said in one video, the church is finding itself being put on notice. And one of the ways the church, to me, is being put on notice is the law of subtraction. In other words, the law of Gideon is being applied to the church. See, sometimes in life, to sort of add to your life, you got to subtract. See, some things sometimes in life need to be subtracted out of your life to make it better. See, we immediately think, okay, well, if I add some, see, like what he was saying to Gideon, you have too many warriors, Let me read Judges 7:2 again. The Lord said to Gideon, you have too many warriors with you. If I let all of you fight the Midianites, the Israelites will boast to me that they saved themselves by their own strength. See, the Lord is once again, the season of Gideon is upon us again, because the Lord is saying to us, you know what, right now in this season, you have too many warriors. You have too many. You have too many right now, you know, because for the longest time, the church has been trying to fight in their own strength. See, we hear those sermons. I mean, you're reminded of so many sermons that taught us, you know, rely on God, trust God. It's not about what we can do in our own physical strength. It's about what God can do. And we're taught that, hey, it's not about the four walls of the church. It's about your real ministry is outside of the church. Number one, ministry belongs at home. And you think about all those sermons that we've been taught about over the years. But have we been listening and really grasping the understanding of that? See, we can shout in church in a minute. We get a high every Sunday coming to church. We can get a high hallelujah and run all over the church over this stuff, getting a high, emotional high. But once we walk out those church doors, are we really heeding to what God is telling us? Or are we spending Monday through Saturday going forth in our own strength? See, the Lord had to tell Gideon, you have too many. You have too many warriors. See, I let all y'all fight. You gonna think you doing some stuff without me. No, I'm running this. You have your strength. You're supposed to tap into my strength. I give you the strength. You know, because He is the God of strength. I'm in this prayer call. Like I said, again, shout out to Dr. Judy McAllister. She does this wonderful prayer call called Intercessor of Rise. In fact, I'm gonna put in I need to put her number. I'm about to do that right now. I'm gonna put her number because I keep mentioning it, right? But I need to do more than mentioning it. I need to put it out there. I'm gonna put her info right now to her prayer call. If y'all want to be a part of the prayer call, I'm gonna put this info in here so y'all can participate in the prayer call if you would like. But I just thank God for just discovering her prayer call last year, because it's just been awesome. And that was Wednesday. We focused on the God of strength. And that's what the Lord was trying to make Gideon understand. He's the God of strength. But y'all, if I let you fight with all these people, you got, like I said, you started off with 32,000 men. But he was like, I can't let y'all fight with all these men. Y'all gonna think y'all didn't, we didn't did. You gonna come out of this saying, oh, we did something. But no, I am your strength. I am your strength. You know, bottom line, I am your strength. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to, y'all. Let's see. Up. What just happened? Dog, it just went out. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta type this again. Like I said, I'm trying to type this info for you. I don't believe that thing just went out, but but I'm trying to type this info so you can participate in this prayer call if you like. But yeah, he told Gideon, look, you got too many people. You got too many people. You know what I'll do is I'll just type it in the comments, because this is getting a little too much. I'm spending too much time trying to do this. Maybe it'd be easier for me to hold on. Okay. No. Where can I type the Jesus? Okay, I'll just say it because this is ridiculous. I'm trying to because I'm on my phone today. Typically when I'm on StreamYard, I usually go through my computer, but because I'm using a mic today, I wanted to go through my phone, so it's I don't know why this is hard. It's hard to we gonna get this together. So anyway, like I was saying, the Lord told Gideon, you have too many men, and they're gonna think that they didn't did something. If they come and get the victory, they're gonna think that they did something. Where I am your God, I am helping you to win this fight. And so he instructed you got to release some of these men because I am your God. I am the God of your strength. Okay. Oh God. Please stay there. I don't understand this. This is crazy. I'll just say the number because I'm about to get frustrated. I don't know. It's hard to maneuver on this phone, so my apologies. Just forget it. I'll say the info. So, like I said, I thank God for Dr. Judy McAllister's prayer call. She does a prayer call typically on Wednesdays at 5 a.m. Pacific time. It's called Intercessor Arise. And I'm just going to say the info. If you'd like to participate in that call, the number is area code 978-990-5000, access code 474504 #. I'm going to repeat it again, okay? And I'll type it in the comments later because it ain't working out me trying to type stuff on this phone. So, but I'm gonna type it in the comments after the show. I'm gonna repeat it again if you want to take it down for now, but I'll type it in the comments after the show. If you want to participate in Dr. Judy McAllister's Intercessor Arise prayer call, number is area code 978-990-5000, access code 474504 #. Typically, it's on Wednesdays at 5 a.m. Pacific time, but she's doing a special prayer call and consecration right now where she started, I believe, Monday, and she's going to be going to the 31st. That's every day, 7 days a week. So if you want to join in, definitely right now while this special prayer call is going on where we're discussing again about the names of God. Okay, so if you want to join with, come on to the prayer call. You can get on tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. to give you all of the U.S. times again, 5 a.m. Pacific time, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 7 a.m. Central Time, and 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Those are U.S. times. Repeating again, 5 a.m. Pacific Time, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 7 a.m. Central Time, and 8 a.m. Eastern Time. If you want to join on that prayer call, I'm going to say the number one more time. Area code 978-990-5000, access code 474504 #. And I'll type that in the comments if you want to join, okay? Feel free to do so. But why I brought her up is that we were discussing on Wednesday about the God of strength, okay? El Shaddai, the God of strength. And that's what the Lord was telling Gideon to focus on him on as the God of strength. He said, you got to release some of these men you got because they're going to go to thinking and boasting in their own strength. So, of course, he first instructed whoever is timid and afraid, leave this mountain and go home. You know, this really goes back to what I was saying about the other day about when I was talking about health, about our two main problems in dealing with our health is being uneducated and playing to the fear. And see, he first focuses how he cut out 22,000 of them. He says, whoever is timid and afraid, yep, go home. Bye. See you. So 22,000 of them went home. 22,000, which left 10,000. And Lord says, number 4, Judges 7:4. But Lord told Gideon, there are still too many. Bring them down to the spring, and I will test them to determine who will go with you and who will not. And how he tested them is, I'm going to read that again, starting at verse 5, Judges 7:5. When Gideon took his warriors down to the water, the Lord told him, divide the men into groups. Into one group, put all of those who cup water in their hands and lap it up with their tongues like dogs. In the other group, put all those who kneel down and drink with their mouths in the stream. Only 300 out of 10,000, 10,000 was left. Only 300, and in other words, the other 9,700 did something else. Only 300 out of 10,000 men drank from their hands. All the others got down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. And then 7, Judges 7:7, the Lord told Gideon, with these 300 men, I will rescue you and give you victory over the Midianites. Send the others home. And to give you some backstory about why he was specific about seeing how they did this, and I'm going to read from the commentary. I'm reading from Fawcett and Brown Jameson commentary about to go to Judges 7 and 5. Let's see. I want to read from you this commentary and help you to understand why he was specific about watching how they drank the water. Okay, and and this is the commentary on. Let me see. Commentary on verse. Let's see. It would be verses 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to read this commentary to you to understand what that signified as to seeing how they drank the water. And this is once again coming from the commentary of Fawcett and Brown Jameson. And this is his commentaries on verses 5. Actually, he says verses 5. It should be verses 5, covering verses 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to read. When the wandering people in Asia, or on a journey, or in haste, come to the water, they do not stoop down with deliberation on their knees, but only bend forward as much as is necessary to bring their hand in contact with the stream and throw it up with rapidity, and at the same time such address that they do not drop a particle. The Israelites, it seems, were acquainted with this practice, and those who adopted it on this occasion were selected as fit for a work that required expedition. The rest were dismissed according to the divine direction. Actually, I just read that, that number 5 point. I'm going to read it again. When the wandering people in Asia on a journey or in haste come to the water, they do not stoop down with deliberation on their knees, but only bend forward as much as is necessary to bring their hand in contact with the stream and throw it up with rapidity, and at the same time such address that they do not drop a particle. The Israelites, it seems, were acquainted with the practice, and those who adopted it on this occasion were selected as fit for work that required expedition. The rest was dismissed according to the divine direction. So the focus was the ones who lapped up the water with their tongues like dogs. Those are the ones he was saying that was rushing. You know, that they were rushed. They were in a haste. There's something about when they cupped the water. They were rushed. They were in a rush mode. See, he saw that. He was seeing and looking for those ones. He said, we're going to read verse 6 again. Judges 7 and 6. Only 300 of the men drank from their hands. All the others got down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. You know? It was something about the ones who drank their mouths in the stream. They took the time to do that. See, the ones who just cupped the water in their hands and just lapped it, they were rushing. They were rushing. They were in a haste. You can imagine some people who just, but it took the ones who got down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. They took the proper time to get into a proper position. See, the ones who were just cupping the water in their hands and trying to lap it up, they were in a haste. They were in a rush. Again, that's what I was like telling you when I was talking about my health the other day. It's the same thing. It brings us back to that same thing that he was trying to instruct Gideon about. It's the same thing that I said. I mean, it's coming back full circle. It's the same thing I said about us dealing with our health the other day. We're either stagnant, we either placating to our fear, or we're rushing to do stuff. And this is the very thing he saw with Gideon and some of his men. First, he dismissed the ones that were timid and fear, placating to their fears. They were fearful. 22,000 he had to send home because they were scared. And then out of the 10,000 he had left, only 300 of the men took the time to get properly down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. See, that takes taking out time to do that. They properly wanted to get in their proper position to drink with their mouths in the stream. But for those other 9,700 that he had to send home, see, them just cupping it in there. I mean, you can imagine how they like to just cup it with your hands and just take the water. You're like, see, that's a Russian. They're Russian. He didn't want men rushing. Because see, when you do stuff in haste, you're not paying as attention as you need to what God is. See, God is trying to instruct you. See, if we're in a haste, if we're in a rush, see, you're doing stuff without thinking. You're doing stuff without paying attention. And he noticed those 300 men that took the time to get in their proper position to drink with their mouths in the stream. To just get in position and just bend their mouths down and drink in the stream. See, that takes time to do that. That takes proper preparation to do that, as opposed to you just rushing to just cup. You in a rush. So he got rid of the men, first of all, that were fearful. Then he got rid of the men that were in a rush. He didn't want nobody there who was fearful. He didn't want nobody there in a rush. Hasty. Impatient. See, that's impatient. You're in a rush. You're impatient. You're too impatient. He didn't want fearful, impatient men. You're in fear. You're gonna be stagnant. You're gonna be too scared to act. You had to send them home. Then the men who are in haste, you're impatient. No, you go home. You fearful, impatient men. Bye. See you. Because you're not gonna. Because if you're too fearful, or if you're too impatient, see, you're not going to hear what God is telling you. Or you hear, you ain't going to do nothing. See, if you're too fearful in life, God is trying to tell you stuff, you're going to be stagnant. Then, if he's telling you something, you're too impatient, you're going to go do your own thing. You're too impatient to hear what God is saying, so you're going to go off and do your own thing. God could not use fearful, impatient soldiers. He had to send those fearful, impatient soldiers home. I need men here that are not afraid. I need men who are going to take the time out to follow, who's going to take the time out to do stuff properly. Once again, I need men who are not afraid. I need men who's going to properly take out their time to do stuff properly. Not in a rush, not in a haste, not fearful and scared. And that left them 300 out of 32,000 men. He started off with 32,000, only 300. He found he could trust the heed to his word because they weren't scared and they weren't impatient. Do you think that's been a problem with the church? The church has been too fearful. The church has been too impatient. That part. Are we guilty of being too fearful? See, judgment starts in the church, right? Has the church been too fearful and too impatient? See, in this season of COVID and racial divide and political divide and every other kind of divide we could possibly think of, thinking of what brought us to this 2020 now seem like going into this 2021. How did it come to this? Has the church been too fearful, too impatient? You think? Maybe? Sort of? And I like going back to Trent Shelton, what he says. Sometimes the best way to add to your life is to subtract. So God had to subtract and send some church people homes. Because see, at my church, I go to West Angeles Church of God in Christ. Our, we still do an online church. I mean, with the exception of we had a drive-in service on November the 15th. With the exception of that, since March, they've been doing online church. Because sometimes in life, the best way to add to your life is to subtract. God, for the season, had to send fearful, impatient Christians home. Look, I'm gonna need y'all to peep this online church because you're a distraction. They would be, in a sense, if we were still physically in church, our fear and our impatience would be a distraction right now. God had to bring the season of Gideon upon us again, because look, you have too many. Yeah, I leave y'all. Look, I let y'all continue to go physically to church. Y'all gonna think y'all doing something in your own strength, like we've been doing for years, right? Carrying stuff too much in our own strength by being too fearful and too impatient. No, this ain't the season in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of this divide that has been going on all levels, racial and political. Look, in this divide, and what brought us to this place anyway is again our fear and impatience. Have we been praying enough? Have we been fasting enough? Have we been distracted? Maybe, just maybe, just maybe. Just saying. Have we been fearful? Have we been impatient? Have we been distracted? Just saying. I'm just saying. And God had to bring yet again the season of Gideon upon us. Best way to add to your life is to subtract. In this case, he had to tell the church, look, you fearful? He had to, once again, because of this season that we're in, it can't be church as usual. Church as usual is what brought us to this place to begin with. Working out of fear and impatience is what brought us to this season to begin with. Not praying enough, not fasting enough. Don't get me started with technology. Look, I appreciate technology, but y'all be acting a fool with these phones. So he can't even get your attention enough to stay off your phone in church. Y'all sit up here taking selfies in church. I mean, some of you while the sermon is going on, so he can't even get your attention for 2 hours of church without you getting on your phone and you using the Bible app as an excuse. Yeah, you on that Facebook taking selfies like that. He can't hold your attention enough for 2 hours of church. This is not the season for that. In the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of this serious racial, political divide, it's time out for that. It's time out for fear. It's time out for impatience. Fear and impatience has been running the church. for too long. God cannot use fearful, impatient Christians. He can't use you. You're afraid, he can't use you. You're impatient, he can't use you. Some of you are like, well, why I haven't got my son? You're too fearful, you're too impatient. He can't use you. Had to send you home. Look, the only ones I'll be seeing, well, with the exception of the, when I'm watching online church, with the exception of the staff, like giving announcements. Look, the only ones there I'm seeing on online church is the Levites, aka music ministry, and the messenger, the one who bringing the word of God. Okay, so in a sense, definitely the season of Gideon has hit my church. No, all I need right now is these Levites and these messengers. Now the rest of y'all enjoy online church, because I can't have you physically in the church right now because you're a distraction. Your fear and impatience is a distraction. So I'm gonna need you to peep online church at home for a minute, because I had to get my house back in order. And sometimes in life, the best way to add is to subtract. See, whatever, even if he has to take this time, the season of getting right now, to subtract, whatever we need to do to be able to focus and bombard heaven and reach heaven's ceiling is what we need to do. And that means we need to subtract, and that's what needs to happen. See, the Levite's job, aka the music ministry, is to set the house in order, to prepare the house for the word. See, you keep seeing the Levites as entertainment. Once for all, they're not your entertainment. Once and for all, they shouldn't be having to work hard to pump you up. You should be coming into church already pumped up and raring to go. And that's because you focus on your real ministry, which starts off in your home. You're carrying what you're supposed to be experiencing on your Sundays. You should be carrying it out through your Monday through Saturdays, but a lot of you are not. You just have your relationship with church at church. Could be to just try to impress people, or I don't know, impress yourself. I don't know. You're just on this impression. I mean, you just have your relationship with God at church. See, it's time out for that either, too. You just can't have your relate. It's been said for years. It's not about the four walls of the church. Your real ministry is at your house. See, you shouldn't be coming to church to get pumped up. You should have been pumping yourselves already Monday through Saturday. And by the time you're in there Sunday, you're ready to go. See, music ministry shouldn't be having to pump you up. You should be coming in there already pumped up. Their job is to set the house in order, to prepare for the word. And, well, that's sort of the good thing about nobody not being there, I would think, because now they ain't got to focus real hard to try to pump you up. They can still focus on their needing to set the house in order and prepare for the word. And then the messengers who bring the word say, ain't none of that. Can everybody say amen? Ain't none of that. See, they ain't got to placate to y'all. Can everybody say, touch your neighbor? Look, time out for, can everybody say amen and touch your neighbor? Look, can't touch our neighbors anyway. It's COVID time. We got air touch. We like, all right. Got an air touch. You know, COVID, we can't. No, this is the time out for everybody say amen and touch your neighbor. See, the messengers now can focus on the word, not trying to placate us and engage us. Because when you think about it, all this placating and engaging, has it worked? Or has it pacified us? Ugh, that part. It pacified some of us into, you guessed it, fear and impatience. And now it's just time out for that. It's time out for fear. It's time out for impatience. God cannot use fearful, impatient people. We have been guilty for years now of being fearful and impatient. It's just time out for that. We can't afford that right now. Not with what's going on right now. We need focused, unfearful, patient saints who's willing to heed to the word of God. When you're not fearful, when you're patient and not fearful, you have that, first of all, that ear to hear what the Lord is saying to you. And then you can take the actions, the steps needed to fulfill what God is saying to you. See, when you're patient, when you're fearful or you're impatient, you're not trying to hear what God is saying to you. You're off trying to do your own thing. You're off trying to do stuff in your own strength, because you, in the end, that's saying that you don't trust God. You can't be fearful and impatient and talk about you trust God. They don't go together. Fear and impatience don't go with trusting God. That's the opposite. When you're fearful and impatient, that's showing every bit of you don't trust God. And that's what he was seeing, the Lord was seeing with Gideon as far as his men go. In the end, these men don't trust me. They don't trust me. The ones who are scared, they don't trust me. The ones who's cupping the water in their hands like dogs, they don't trust me. So that's not going to work. I need soldiers who are trusting of me. And what shows their trust in me is that they're not fearful and they're patient. And that's what's needed right now is patient, unfearful saints. That's what's needed right now in this season. Time out for the fear and the impatience already. We've been fearful and impatient for too long. It's not working. Can't hear from God because you're fearful. You keep asking God, why can't I hear from you? You're too fearful. You're too impatient. He cannot use fearful, impatient saints. Sometimes in life, the best way to add to your life is to subtract. Yeah, I've done it. I've realized some things in my life, some people, some places, and things over the years. I had to subtract. I had to say bye-bye. See, immediately we think adding to our lives is better. No, sometimes the best thing to do to sort of add to your life is to subtract. You got to subtract some stuff out of your life. Some people, some places, some things. You got to subtract that out of your life so you can focus on God. And what brings about that need of subtraction is fear and impatience. God can't use fearful, impatient saints. Once and for all, we need to understand that. That's why in this season of this pandemic, in this season of racial and political divide, we cannot let the fear and the impatience rule no more. That's why God got us at home. He had to ground us. He had to send us home. No, you fearful, impatient saints, go home. Bye. See you. Because I need my Levites and I need my messengers right about now. Them the only ones I need right now to see. The spirit, the season of Gideon had to come upon us again. You know, and that's a good thing. See, I know on one hand we miss being with each other, getting together. I understand that, and I miss being at church on a break. But I tell you, because let's face it, here in America, look, we're pretty spoiled. Because see, we hear those stories about like what people have to go through in third world countries with having underground church, and they get shot with even carrying the Bible in their hand. So many times we've heard those stories, right? But hey, here in America, that hasn't been our experience. We don't have no concept of, we're free typically to go into a church and worship. And see, we can easily take that for granted. Being able to walk into a physical church, we have taken for granted to where we don't have no reverence for it anymore. There's a certain reverence even entering into the house of the Lord that we should have. And we've lost that. Because here in America, when you have the freedom to go into the house of the Lord typically and worship, it's easy to take it for granted. Just at one season we just saw it as, oh, well, we ain't got to worry about nothing ever happening where we can't go to church. We gonna always be able to bless the Lord and house of God. Well, you found out real quick. We're now in the season of not being able to go. So how are we handling this? How are we handling this season of Gideon? Are we fearful and impatient? Are we continuing to be fearful and impatient? Or are we going to be like the 300, unfearful and patient? See, that's what this season is about. He needs to teach us to be unafraid and patient, because for too long we have been fearful and impatient. And that's just not going to work, especially in this season. It's not going to work. The fear and impatience is not going to work. He needs he needs unafraid, patient Christians. It's time out for rushing. It's time out for placating into fear. God cannot use fearful, impatient Christians. If you want to know why now, just maybe you need to check inside you. Are you fearful? Are you impatient? Can't use you. If you're fearful and impatient, look, I need to go home. Bye. See. I can't have you. Because see, where you're fearful and impatient, you go into the mode of relying on your own strength. You're that way because you're relying on your own strength. You're not trusting God. Right now, the Lord's saying in this season, I need those who really trust me, because they're not fearful, they're not impatient. Look, you fearful? Okay, go home. Bye-bye. Are you patient? I see you lapping. You lapping like a dog. Go. Bye. See you. Time out for it. You can't use it. Are you willing to recognize the season of Gideon for what it is right now? And if you are fearful and impatient right now, are you willing to beard yourself while we are still in this season to be counted as one of the 300? Are you willing and prepared to carry on from this point on to be one of the 300? That's what we got to work towards as saints, as true saints of God. We got to work on being counted as one of the 300. We want to be one of those 300. We don't want to be one of the ones he had to send home. But that was a total of sorry, I'm trying to do my addition. That was total of out of 32, that was 31,700. He started off with 32,000 men. So that was 31,700 men he had to send home. Out of 32,000, he only kept 300. 31,700 men had to be sent home. You don't want to be counted as one of those 31,700. You as true saints, we as true saints of God want to be counted. You should want to be counted as one of the 300 that he was able to keep and use, because he saw that you weren't fearful and you weren't impatient. You trusted him enough to rely on his strength. He wants a people that's going to rely on his strength, because that's one of his names, El Shaddai. He is the God of strength. That's whose strength we are to tap into as true saints of God. His strength. His strength. Not rely on our own. See, he told Gideon, look, you can't go with all of these 32,000. You're going to think y'all did something when I'm giving you the strength. You're to tap into my strength, not your own. We don't tap into our own strength. See, we go to tapping into our own strength when we are fearful and impatient. See, that's a surefire way of knowing that we're fearful and impatient. We go to relying on our own strength instead of God's strength. Are you willing to be counted as one of the 300? You got to ask yourself that while we are in this season of Gideon. Are you willing to do what you have to be counted as one of the 300? You don't want to be one of those ones he had to send home. Are you willing to do what it takes to be counted in that 300 number as one of the 300? I hope so. I hope so. In this season, you're willing to once and for all get rid of the fear, get rid of the impatience, because he can't use you. We get it twisted thinking he can use you. We can hold something back. We can keep something to ourselves. No, you got to give it all up. That song, I Surrender All. You got to surrender it all. Surrendering it all means surrendering it all. Can't hold back. Can't try to keep something for yourself. You got to give it all. See, that shows being patient and being unafraid, where you're willing to surrender it all. See, you're not willing to surrender it all because you're fearful and impatient. But it takes a real people, the real saints, to be willing to do what they can to be part of the 300 number. Are you willing to be part of the Gideon 300? Ask yourself that. Are you willing to do what you can to be a part of the Gideon 300? Think about that. As we are still in this season of Gideon, as we're still in this season of subtraction. Subtraction ain't always a bad thing. It's a good thing. Some of you there's some people, there's some places, there's some things in your life you need to subtract. You need to get out your life. Subtraction is a good thing. Make subtraction be a good thing in your life in this season, the Gideon. Okay? With that, that's all I have to say about today's topic. I hope what I've said to you today has truly, truly blessed your life. Be willing to do what you can to be in that 300 number, okay? Okay? Amongst God's 300. Not just Gideon's 300, but most importantly, God's 300. Okay? And before I go, I thank you once again for tuning in. I hope what I've said to you today has truly, truly blessed your life. Before I go, reminder, you have 2 more days to register for the first installment of the Vision Board Experience. Starting January the 15th, it's going to take place on the 15th of every month. The Vision Board Experience. I tell you, so also I just thank God, give him all the glory, all the honor, all the praise it takes. See, sometimes it takes seasons like this where you have no choice but to get quiet before the Lord. And as you get quiet before the Lord, he will drop stuff in your spirit. I mean, this is just a matter of, it's been now a little over a month that he's dropped this into my spirit. See, this ain't been brewing for years. This is, as you get quiet, as you take your time of quiet and really get down to where you're willing to hear the Lord, because he speaks to us all the time, but we got to get quiet enough to hear. And this has just been a matter of just a little over a month that I've been talking about this, because I got quiet enough to where he was able to drop this in my spirit. See, if I didn't take the opportunity to get quiet, I would have probably still not known about this. See, it takes being quiet. He speaks all the time, but we got to settle down and listen. And this is the perfect season to do that. y'all haven't as of yet, get quiet before the Lord and he'll speak to you. See, when we got all that noise and we're running around the square saying, catch me if you can, like Frosty the Snowman, running here, there, and around the square saying, catch me if you can. Look, and like I told you, he ain't about to try to catch you. He focuses on those who are willing to be caught. How about it? He ain't gonna try to catch you. You need to settle down and be willing to be caught. And when you're willing to settle down and be caught, he can drop stuff like this into your spirit. And I just give him all the glory and all the honor, all the praise for doing so. Because if I hadn't gotten quiet, probably still ain't would have known about it. But we got to be willing to get quiet before the Lord. So I welcome you. Vision Board Experience going to take place on the 15th of every month. And for this first installment, you have 2 more days in which to register. Because like I said, with each session, the registration ends on the 10th of every month. So with this first installment coming up January the 15th, registration ends on January the 10th is your last day to register. Okay, for this first installment. And I welcome you how you can register. That is the link. That is the Eventbrite link for you to go to. Okay. And I'm going to, I need to post that in the comments as well. Let me do that. Post that in the comments. Okay. Hold on. I'm still on air. Hold on. Okay. So to register, it's on the screen, but I'm gonna put it in the comments as well. Okay. So there's the link. It's on the screen and it's in the comments. Okay. For you to sign up. Okay. For the Vision Board Experience. Okay. That's one way in which to register. Go to that Eventbrite link. It's posted on your screen and it's in the comments. Okay. Please go to that link. Okay. And sign up and register for the Vision Board Experience. First installment is coming up January the 15th. And to read the description on the page again, turning your vision board into reality. One-on-one, speed networking, presentation with conversation. Get on board with clarity. And the first installment is going to be one-on-one, which is going to be me just taking the time to share with you and be transparent about just however the Lord will lead me in this first session, to just be transparent with you, okay? And to share with you about just things that have gotten me to this point of 52 years of life that I just don't take for granted, okay? I just thank God for the road that I have been on. I just thank God for that. Okay. Just to God be the glory. Just to God be the glory. You know, I just thank him for these 52 years of life. Well, time out. I'm in the year where I'm to turn 52, but still 51. Hold up, Jackie. I just said don't rush. Don't rush no age now. Ain't 52 until August. But so far, these 51 years of life that God has blessed me with, and I just simply say, I give God all of the glory, all of the honor, all of the praise. Just thank him for 51 years of life that I've lived so far, and just however the Lord leads me to share with you in this first session is what I'm going to do, okay? Just by his leading, his grace, how he will just lead me to share with you, okay? And I welcome you to be a part of it. I welcome you to be a part. So looking forward to it, so excited about it. So be a part of it. First installment of the Vision Board Experience, okay? The Vision Board Experience coming up January the 15th. Once again, to put that link up on the screen again, that is the Eventbrite link to be a part of the Vision Board Experience. You can go there. You go to the link saying select the date, and there you will see all of the dates from January to December of 2021. All of the dates detailing the 15th of every month from January to December. From the website, you just, the Eventbrite page, you just click on whichever date you want, sign up for it, okay? And the general admission is $20. General admission is $20, okay? So sign up, $20. Like I said, some of you throw away $20 on coffee every day or lunch every day. You throw away $20, but what's $20 to sow a seed into you? To sow a seed into you, okay? To sow a seed into what God has blessed you with to bless the world. If you haven't really discovered, this is what I want you to understand about the Vision Board Experience. This is not about how to put together a vision board. There's countless number of things where you can do that. This is focused on, you got that vision board already hanging in your wall, written on your journal, but have you taken the steps necessary to get started on that? Or is it still hanging on your wall? That part. So as you really want to get down with God, like I said, if you're ready to become part of that 300 in a sense, and get fear and impatience out your life for once, and really get down and focus on what God has for you to do, this was a great way to do just that. So like I said, general admission, $20. Like I said, y'all throw away $20 every day doing something. What's $20 to sow into you, okay? So that's one way to pay for general admission. Go to the Eventbrite link posted on the screen and in the comments. And you can do it that way to pay your $20. Or other methods of payment is also PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Tag for all three across the board is Rich Sister 1. RICHSISTAH1. I'm going to post that in the comments. Those are the two ways in which you can register for general admission. Either go to the Eventbrite link, or also an option, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Tag for all three across the board is Rich Sister 1. RICHSISTAH1. Just posted that as well as it's on the screen. I just posted it in the comments. Okay, that's another way. And if you pay your $20 that way, I need you to, in the memo section, tell me which session you're signing up for and the date. Okay, like this first session, January the 15th, is 101. Okay, so I need you to put it in the memo 101, January the 15th. Or if it's just for whatever reason, just the date. If it's the February the 15th date, it's the March the 15th date, it's the April the 15th date, I need you to note that, okay? And I can tell you for the first, definitely for the first quarter of the year, the start there, January the 15th is going to be 101. February the 15th is going to be speed networking. And March the 15th is going to be presentation with conversation. That's the plan unless I have to change it for whatever reason. But that's the intention. January the 15th for sure will be 101. February the 15th will be speed networking. And March the 15th will be presentation with conversation. That's the plan, Sam. So that's the plan, Sam. So that's how you can definitely register for these first 3 months anyway. Like I said, if you do it by PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, I need you in the memo section to put the segment that you're signing up for in the date. So of course, if it's January the 15th, you put 101 January the 15th. If it's speed networking, first one's February the 15th. So speed networking, February the 15th. Or if it's presentation with conversation, first one, March the 15th. So presentation with conversation, March the 15th. I'll need you to put that in the memo section if you're paying by PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. So I know which one you're signing up for, okay? So you can do that. Those are the two ways in which to sign up general admission. Once again, going to the Eventbrite page and follow the selected date and do it that way, or PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Tag for all three across the board is Rich Sister One. RICHSISTAH1, okay? All right. So that is how you sign up. And definitely for those of you, if you're interested in being with the presentation with conversation, if you're interested in being an on-screen participant, so that first one, presentation with conversation, is coming up on March the 15th. If you're interested in being an on-screen participant, which you will have the opportunity to make up to a 5-minute presentation, I need you to contact me, okay? You're going to contact me preferably by email, thoughtsforvision@yahoo.com. And I'm going to post that. If you're interested in being an on-screen participant, contact me. My email, thoughtsforvision@yahoo.com. And there is an entry fee for those of you who are chosen after we talk and you're chosen to be selected as an on-screen participant. There is an entry fee, and the entry fee is $40. Okay? Entry fee, I'm going to post that in the comments. Entry fee is $40 to be an on-screen participant. Okay? Just posted that in the comments, that info, if you are interested. And that's for the presentation with conversation segment, which the first one is going to be on March the 15th. So you got plenty of time to contact me. If you're interested, please preferably contact me by email at thoughtsforvision@yahoo.com, or push come to shove, if you want to contact me via the Thoughts for Vision page or my profile page by inboxing me, you can do that as well. But if you're interested in participating for presentation with conversation as an on-screen participant, where you will have the opportunity to make up into a 5-minute presentation. In other words, I'm selling you in a sense, an online booth. You know, just like at an in-person event, to pay for a booth, you have to pay for a booth. So this is, in a sense, an online booth that I'm offering you to make your 5-minute presentation. Okay. And I just felt the need to offer that because, like I said, as I go to these in-person events, when I ask people to, if they want to share about their booth or whatever have you while they're there, I get I can't speak. I don't like being on camera. But like I said, that's something you're really going to have to get out of if you want to go forth, if you want your business to go forth in the way that God will have it to go. You got to take those limitations off him, and that will be a limit. you will hinder yourself back if you're scared to speak or you're scared to do a video, or that's going to hold you back, and I don't want you held back by that. So I'm just giving you this opportunity if you want to partake in it. But like I said, you got to contact me by email, thoughtsprovision@yahoo.com. Like I said, if you are chosen to be an on-screen participant, the entry fee is $40. And definitely you will pay that by PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Tag for all three across the board is Rich Sister One. That is the means, the methods of payment only for the on-screen participant with presentation with conversation. If you are chosen to be an on-screen participant after we talk, the entry fee is $40. Like I said, you get a chance to make up to a 5-minute presentation, advertising you as an individual or your business. Okay, so please feel free to contact me about that if you are interested. Like I said, the first one of those is going to be on March the 15th, so you got plenty of time. Okay, so I look forward to hearing from you about that. Okay, but once again, this first installment is coming up one-on-one January the 15th. You got 2 more days to register for that. So be about it. Okay. Registration ends for each session on the 10th of every month. So your last day to sign up for this January the 15th is January the 10th. 2 more days. So be about it. Okay. And that is going to wrap up today's show. I thank you for tuning in to the broadcast. And if you need any further info about me, there's my website, www.jackiejeackieap.com. I'm going to type that in the comments. Okay. That's my website if you need any info about me. www.jackiejeackieap.com. Keep up with me there. I may have to update you as far as possible other means of contact, because I'm in the throes of as to whether I'm going to keep this particular website that I'm on, or maybe have to switch to another platform, but I will keep you posted for now. But that for now is still the website to reach me at, www.jackiejeackieap.com. Like I said, I'm going to keep you posted as to, I may have to switch a different website platform possibly. So because as the demand for people being online has reached in the midst of everything that's going on, more people are on it, so they, in this particular website, jacking up the prices. So we're going to see if I'm going to still remain on this particular platform. If I got to find something else, I'll keep you posted, okay? But for now, that's still the website to reach me at, www.jackieap.com. Like I said, I will keep you posted. So stay tuned, okay? And that's going to wrap up today's show today. Thank you so very much for tuning in to today's broadcast. If you missed any part of this broadcast, please feel free to check it out in the replay. Okay? If you missed any part of this broadcast, check it out in the replay. Okay? Whether via Facebook or YouTube. Okay? Check it out in the replay. Be willing to be part of God's 300. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to be part of God's 300? I hope so. Don't continue to let fear and impatience ruin your life. Set yourself up to be part of God's 300, okay? Take care and remember, God's thoughts plus your vision equals greatness. Once again, God's thoughts plus your vision equals greatness. Take care. You all have a blessed and wonderful weekend, okay? Take care.